hot wings, hot topics, and real estate. Host Ryan Spellerberg keeps it real with agents, investors, and insiders every month. No fluff, just good convo exploring the trends, challenges, and questions shaping today's market. Now, here's your host with over 20 years of lending experience, Ryan Spellerberg.
They're on fire. All right, everybody, Ryan Spellerberg, mortgage guy with Central Bank here for another episode of Hot Topics. And you'll notice we are starting our construction series this year to talk about construction, building new homes, having fun with it. And today we've got an awesome guest. So today's guest is about smart home design with serious efficiency. Anthony Hollingsworth is the owner of Performance Builders, a Sioux Falls-based company crafting homes that are as efficient as they are downright good-looking. So thanks for coming to the show, Anthony.
Thanks for having me, Ryan.
We appreciate it. So you've kind of watched this before. You understand how it works. So you get to try the first wing, which is just an easy medium buffalo while we kind of ask you some questions. So for people that don't know you, who are you? How'd you get into building?
Well, I have a wife, 2 daughters. My oldest just graduated this past spring from GCU. My youngest is going to Augie right now. This is her first year. I had a landscaping company for a long time, 12 years probably, and just kind of got sick of the seasonality and decided I wanted to get into construction. I had always kind of liked architecture, buildings, just all the different things involved. So
I don't think I knew you owned a landscaping company. Sorry, already down the wrong pipe. So
yeah, I started in high school,
Okay.
landscaping in Madison, and then moved down here and
got after it.
then got out.
Started putting sticks in the air. Got it. Cool. Okay, how was the first one?
This is Buffalo.
Easy. Got it. Okay. So when people ask me about you specifically, I usually tell them you're kind of guy that wants to build a home that you can, it's so efficient that you can heat it with a candle is kind of how I explain you. How would you explain your personal philosophy on building a house?
That's fairly accurate. You can heat it with a candle, cool it with an ice cube. All the building science stuff, airtight, vapor control, air control, water control, extra insulation. Just get all the details right.
I don't think people pay attention to that usually. They look at the cosmetic things, though. They're not looking at what a blower door test is
100%.
to see how tight their home is. They just don't pay attention to that stuff for the most part.
And I mean, most people don't understand the science of what takes place in a building through all the various assemblies in the building, the problems that can be caused from that or from not knowing those processes.
Yeah. I really think you should switch your company name to Heat It with a Candle, Cool It with an Ice Cube. It's a little long, but I think it gets the point across.
It's a little long, but I'll keep that in mind.
Just a thought. Okay.
Contemplate that.
So the next one is Hot Buffalo, where it starts to get a little bit warmer. So you're not what I would call a suitcase contractor who just kind of drives by the work site. You're on site, hands-on, and I've even got multiple videos of you while I was researching of you getting stuck in a skid steer in multiple different locations on site. So how does that level of involvement change what you do versus other people do from a construction standpoint?
Well, like you said, all the little details that go into what I do are what makes makes my houses different and makes them perform at the level that they do. And all of those details are different or basically non-existent in your average home out there, especially in our market.
Yep.
So there's really not a base of familiarity with subcontractors. So if I want those details done, and I want them done the way they need to be done, and the materials installed correctly, I have to be there, either doing it, assisting with it, or demonstrating one of those scenarios basically all the time.
So think of this. If you're going to be building a house coming up, you want to ask that contractor, whoever's going to build your house, how often are you on site? Because if they're not there once but every 2 weeks, a lot of bad things can happen between when they're on site every 2 weeks that isn't getting done correctly. So I think that gives you a competitive advantage.
Especially if you want an efficient house, too.
And I just drove by one of his work sites maybe a month ago, and he called me as soon as I drove by, and he was actually in the skiddy driving around doing work. So I will testify.
Not just driving around or getting stuck.
He is on site doing the job. So I think it sets you apart. Okay, next one, mango habanero. Just a little sweeter one, very easy. So you're going to have to tell us about this, but I've heard a story involving a basement, a painter, and maybe some type of a standoff. Can you give us an idea of maybe what happened here? Just break it down for us.
So there was...
it's good when they can't come out right away and say what happened.
Well, I got to try and reel it in a little bit. So I had one of the flooding events, several basements to redo, and hired this painting contractor that, I didn't know them, I hadn't used them before, but hired them for several basements in this flood event. And I had them, they did a few different projects, did a fine job. Then we got to this other job, and I don't know what happened, but it was horrible work. And they want paid, it's like, we'll be done in 20 minutes, be here with a check.
Standard contractor.
Yep. So, I'm busy, I'm blowing them off. I can't be there in 20 minutes. You're going to have to wait, blah, blah, blah. They're mad. I finally get over there.
Oh, that's a good sign.
That one, no.
It's the worst if you cough. It's the absolute worst if you cough.
Nose bite.
Yep. Good thing he loves milk. He told us he only drinks milk.
Yeah, live on milk.
Yep.
So anyway, I get there. Nobody's there. I go down in the basement. It's just terrible. Sure enough, they showed up. Two of them showed up when I was down there, and I told them, I'm like, I'm not paying for this. This is awful.
I should have warned you not to wipe your eyes with the...
Well, I used a clean part.
Okay, got it. All right.
I didn't put sauce in my eyes.
All right.
Now.
Good.
I'm like, I'm not paying you. And, well, that didn't go over very well.
The story was told to me that you got locked in a basement, almost choked out. They forced you to pay them, and you couldn't pay the check.
There might have been a paint can flying at my head. I might have thrown one of them down the steps, trying to get away. Another one grabbed me, tossed me back down the steps.
Bottom line is, he's not going to let your house be painted incorrectly and let those guys get by with it.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a fun deal.
Oh, good. Thanks for the story. Thanks for crying. Next one. I'm sorry. The next one is atomic. So get a little bit warmer on these.
Good.
So again, efficient homes is really your calling card. What's the easiest thing someone can do to make their home more efficient when they're building, if maybe their builder doesn't specialize in that? What do most builders overlook that's easy to do?
Airtightness and insulation. That's, as basic as you get.
I had another builder.
Stop air leakage and
right, but how do you do that?
Details. You got to pay attention to all your penetrations. Don't let an electrician drill a hole this big for a wire this big, or a plumber. Whoever it is, not just electricians, but all the trades are guilty of making a hole like this for something a third the size. to go through it. And then most people don't realize all your sheathing, every intersection in your sheathing, every seam is a gap that air leaks through continuously.
So just make sure you fill the gaps, right?
Essentially.
Yeah. So airtightness, I think that's your calling card. You walk around his home, everything is sealed off completely. There's no gaps, no penetration areas. There's good water. How do you even say that?
Water management. I mean,
Water
waterproofing.
management. Yep. So
I mean, they're waterproof before I put siding on.
yeah. And like you said, I mean, it can be 10 degrees outside and you don't even have your heat on yet. And that's a big part of it.
And a lot of I got a house right now that's 4,400 square feet. I'm gonna heat it the rest of the winter with an electric space heater during construction.
Yeah, that's awesome.
One.
Very exciting. So, okay, last one. This is where it starts to get a little bit warm. This one is nuclear from our friends at Atomic Wings who sponsor. Thanks again, guys.
So I gotta eat this whole thing.
Get after it. Yeah, it's good for you. Okay, so the big question that most people are going to ask, sounds great. We'll get an efficient home. That's amazing. It'll save us a lot in costs down the road. But roughly, what does it cost to build an efficient home upfront, difference-wise, than if you were going to build any other house that most builders are doing today?
The best average is 5 to 8% more.
That's it? That seems low to me.
10% if you really get carried away. Or I've done a couple spec homes where I'm guilty of probably getting a little carried away, and I was in that 8 to 10% more range, but that still isn't, I don't think. I mean, an extra on $1 million house, I mean, to go from $500 a month in utilities to $50,
big difference long term
for the life of the home, not just temporarily. I mean, that energy usage stays for as long as that home stands. 200 years.
Something you've explained to me is the cost difference is probably smaller than most people think because, you know, you're making your envelope much tighter so you can have smaller heating and air conditioning. So there's other savings that you can do to offset some of the additional costs you're going to pay on the outside.
And you have less maintenance throughout the length of ownership, as well as lower maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
Because your systems are smaller. When it fails and it's time to replace it, you've got a smaller price tag for the replacement system. I mean, and then other things like rain screens. A lot of times I put a rain screen on that makes your siding last 25 years before it needs repainted versus 5 years.
Yeah, just building for the long term. Generational homes.
Right.
Instead of, I want to be out of it.
Multi-generational.
Right, yeah. Instead, I want to be out of it in 5 years. How's the last one? Not bad?
The last one actually wasn't really that bad at all.
There you go. See, it was easy. I told you. Okay, well, thanks for coming on, Anthony, telling everybody what you're doing. What do you want people to know about you, or what's coming up next with you and your team?
Well, for one, out in what is that, Long Meadows,
Yes.
I think, Meadowlark Court, I've got a
By Spring Creek Golf Course. Easiest way to say it.
just the west of Spring Creek. I've got a spec house going up right now. It'll be ready this spring. Should be on the Parade of Homes. So that will be for sale. That's very, very high performance house.
Are you doing any videos to show what you have going
there'll
into that
be-
thing?
There's videos and stuff
How do people see that?
from that process. Facebook page, Performance Builders, Instagram. I've got a TikTok, I guess, too. My daughter set up and runs for me.
Fantastic. Yeah. So if you want a super efficient home, a great build process, somebody that's on site all the time, give Anthony a call. Thanks for coming in. We really appreciate it. Make sure to like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Thanks for coming, man.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.